Flashing screen. Think of a flashing screen or a flickering display as a distress signal from your computer's video pipeline. A monitor is designed to display a steady, continuous stream of still images, frames, so quickly that your brain perceives it as smooth motion. When that screen flashes black or rapidly flickers, that steady stream is being violently interrupted. For the CompTIA A+ exam, you must understand that a flashing screen is rarely a completely dead piece of hardware. Instead, it is almost always a synchronization issue, a failing component struggling to stay alive, or a corrupted software driver. As a technician, you must isolate whether the flashing is caused by the physical connection, the operating system's configuration, or the internal power delivery of the monitor itself. Part 1. The digital handshake, the physical layer. When you connect a modern digital cable like HDMI or DisplayPort, the computer and the monitor perform a continuous digital handshake. They are constantly verifying connection protocols like HDCP, High Bandwidth Digital Content Protection. The symptom: the screen works perfectly for a few minutes, suddenly flashes black for 2 seconds, and then the image comes back. The cause: this is almost always a loose cable, a damaged port, or a low-quality adapter. If the physical connection drops for even a microsecond, the digital handshake is broken. The monitor goes black while it renegotiates the connection and authenticates the signal all over again. The fix: reseat the cable firmly at both ends. If the flashing persists, replace the cable entirely before you even think about replacing the monitor or the graphics card. Part 2. Refresh rate mismatch, the configuration layer. If the physical cable is perfectly secure, but the screen is flickering rapidly, often looking like horizontal bands of static jumping up and down, you are likely dealing with a configuration error in the operating system. The refresh rate: this is the number of times per second the monitor redraws the image on the screen, measured in Hz, Hz. A standard office monitor runs at 60 Hz. The mismatch: if a user goes into the Windows display settings and forces the video card to output at 144 Hz, but the physical monitor can only handle 60 Hz, the monitor's internal processor will panic. It cannot process the frames fast enough, resulting in a violently flickering, unstable image. The fix: boot the computer into safe mode, which loads a basic, low-resolution video driver or plug in a different monitor. Navigate to the advanced display settings and lower the refresh rate back to the hardware's native specification, usually 60 Hz. Part 3. The graphics driver crash, the software layer. Sometimes the screen flashing isn't a hardware problem at all. It's the brain of the video card, the GPU, momentarily dying and being resuscitated by the operating system. Timeout detection and recovery, TDR. Windows has a built-in safety feature. If the graphics driver freezes or gets stuck in an infinite loop, Windows will intentionally kill the video driver and instantly restart it to prevent the entire computer from crashing. The symptom: when Windows restarts the driver, the screen will flash black for a moment, and you will often see a tiny notification in the system tray saying, "Display driver stopped responding and has recovered." The fix: this is a software corruption issue. You must download the latest graphics drivers from the manufacturer, NVIDIA, AMD, or Intel, perform a clean install to wipe out the old corrupted files, and restart the machine. Part 4. The failing inverter or backlight, the hardware layer. If you are troubleshooting an older LCD monitor or a laptop screen, the flashing might not be the video signal dropping out. It might literally be the lights flickering inside the chassis. The fluorescent flicker. Older LCD screens use cold cathode fluorescent lamps, CCFLs, for their backlight. Just like the fluorescent tubes in a warehouse ceiling, when these bulbs or the inverter, the board that provides them with high voltage power, begin to fail, they will physically flicker and hum. The diagnosis: if the screen flickers randomly, particularly when you first turn it on or when you adjust the brightness to its lowest setting, the internal power delivery is dying. The fix: on a desktop monitor, it is usually cheaper to replace the entire monitor. On a laptop, a technician must disassemble the screen bezel and replace the failing inverter board or the entire LCD panel assembly. Summary for the professional technician. To lock this in for your exam troubleshooting steps: intermittent black flashes, usually a loose cable breaking the continuous digital handshake, HDCP. Rapid, unstable flickering, frequently a refresh rate mismatch. The OS is pushing frames faster than the hardware can draw them. Flash with an error message, a software crash where the OS had to forcefully restart the GR. Ifix driver. Dim, physical flickering, a hardware failure of the monitor's internal backlight or inverter board.